Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard. Just keep going, just keep going up, just keep going, just keep going up. You can't turn back, you come too far, you can't give up, you work too hard. Just keep going.
Welcome to another episode of Dissertation in 90 Days, where we dive deep into practical, actionable advice that can transform your doctoral journey. Today, we're focusing on a fundamental yet often overlooked aspect of your Ph.D. program, setting clear and achievable research objectives. Remember when you first started your doctoral journey? That excitement mixed with a bit of anxiety about what lies ahead. Now think about navigating a new city without a map or GPS. You might explore some unexpected places, which can be thrilling, but when it comes to reaching a specific destination on time, it's not the most efficient way. This is what embarking on your research without clear objectives can feel like. It's easy to get lost in the vast sea of information and possibilities. I've talked with many PhD students who share similar frustrations. They often feel like they're running in circles, covering a lot of ground, but not making real progress towards their thesis completion. For instance, consider the story of Jordan, a bright and enthusiastic doctoral candidate I met at a conference last year. Jordan spent the first year of his PhD exploring various topics and reading extensively, which seemed productive at the time. However, without a clear set of objectives, he found himself overwhelmed and unsure about the direction of his research. It wasn't until he defined his research goals clearly that he began to make tangible progress and regained his confidence and motivation. Today's episode is all about avoiding that kind of turmoil. We're going to discuss how to set targeted, precise, and practical research objectives that not only guide your academic journey, but also keep you motivated and on track. Whether you're just starting out or find yourself stuck midway, refining your research objectives can provide that much-needed clarity and direction. So, let's get started and make sure your doctoral journey is as rewarding and efficient as possible. Today, we're diving into a crucial aspect of your dissertation journey, understanding research objectives. Let's break down what these are and why they're so pivotal to your success. Research objectives are the specific goals you set for your dissertation. They act as your academic compass, guiding every stage of your investigation. Think of them as the destination points you enter into your GPS before starting a trip. Without these, you're just driving without direction. With them, every turn you take is purposeful, moving you closer to your final goal. Setting clear research objectives is like laying down a solid foundation for a building. It supports everything that follows. With well-defined objectives, you can focus your research efforts, saving time and resources. You stay aligned with your academic goals, ensuring that every task contributes to your overarching question. You can also communicate your intentions clearly to your supervisors and peers, which is essential for feedback and support. In essence, clear objectives simplify your path and clarify your purpose, not just to you, but also to everyone involved in your doctoral journey. A strong research objective should be specific, measurable, and relevant. Let's unpack these components. Your objective should be precise and clear. Vague objectives lead to scattered research efforts, which can dilute the impact of your findings. For example, a vague objective might be, I want to study the effects of social media. In contrast, a specific objective would be, I aim to analyze how social media influences the academic performance of high school students in urban areas. Notice how the specific objective narrows down the focus to a clear, manageable aspect. Your objective should have criteria that can be measured. This allows you to track your progress and evaluate the outcome. Continuing with the previous example, you could measure the academic performance by grades or test scores, providing concrete data to support your analysis. Ensure that your objectives align with the broader goals of your field. They should contribute value to existing research or address a significant gap. The relevance in our example lies in understanding a pressing issue, how the pervasive use of social media could be impacting education outcomes. Let's consider two scenarios to better understand clear versus vague objectives. A vague objective might be investigate the history of Europe. The issue here is that this is overly broad and lacks a specific focus. An improved version would be examine the economic factors that led to the rise of industrial cities in 19th century France. This is specific and offers a clear direction for research. Another vague objective could be study climate change effects. This objective is immense and unmeasurable as stated. An improved version would be assess the impact of rising sea levels on coastal agriculture in Southeast Asia over the past decade. This not only specifies what aspect of climate change and geographic focus, but also incorporates a measurable time frame. As you can see, refining your research objectives can significantly impact the clarity and direction of your dissertation. It turns an overwhelming project into a series of achievable steps. As you progress in your doctoral journey, keep revisiting and refining these objectives. They are your roadmap to a successful dissertation and ultimately to making a meaningful contribution to your field. Let's take a systematic approach to ensure that your research goals not only guide you, but set you up for impactful discoveries. What do you want to achieve with your research? Starting with the end in mind helps you visualize the outcome you're aiming for. This approach ensures that every effort you make moves you toward that end goal. For example, if you're studying the impact of nutritional education on childhood obesity rates, your end goal might be to develop a program that can be implemented in schools. Knowing this, you can tailor your research objectives to directly support this outcome. Before you can know where your research will take you, you need to know where others have been. A preliminary literature review serves this purpose. Dive into existing studies to understand what has been explored and where there are gaps. Perhaps previous studies have focused on urban settings and rural settings have been largely ignored. Identifying such gaps will help you position your research to fill them, making your work both relevant and original. Once you have a broad idea of what you're aiming for and what has already been done, it's time to narrow down your focus. Formulate specific and researchable questions. These questions should be clear and focused. For instance, instead of a broad question like, how does education affect health? Hone in on something more direct and specific, like how does participating in school-based nutritional programs influence the eating habits of elementary students? To craft these questions effectively, be precise. The more precise your questions, the easier it will be to design experiments and methods to answer them. Next, ensure they are answerable. Your questions should be framed in a way that empirical research can answer them. Avoid questions that are too broad or require subjective interpretations that can't be backed by data. At last, make them relevant. Align your questions with the gaps identified in your literature review. This relevance will not only give your research direction, but also enhance its contribution to the field. Using these steps, you can ensure that your research objectives are not just a checklist, but a coherent framework that guides your entire dissertation process. They'll help keep your work focused, manageable, and significantly impactful. Remember, a well-defined research objective is the first step towards a successful doctoral thesis. It's your roadmap, your blueprint, and ultimately, your bridge to contributing new knowledge to your field. So take your time, think it through, and craft objectives that will truly guide your research journey. This step is crucial, as the right methods will effectively illuminate your path to clear and meaningful results. When your research methods are in sync with your objectives, it ensures that every question you aim to answer is approached with the best tools for the job. This alignment is like choosing the right key for a lock. It makes the process smoother and the outcome more reliable. For instance, qualitative methods are superb for exploring deep insights and understanding the nuances of human experiences, making them ideal for objectives that require an exploration of perceptions, emotions, or complex social interactions. On the other hand, quantitative methods offer the precision and statistical power needed to measure and analyze data numerically, perfect for objectives that involve testing hypotheses or measuring variables. Let's look at a real-world example of how this alignment plays out successfully. Consider the case of a doctoral student named Emily, who studied the impact of telecommuting on employee productivity during her Ph.D. Emily's main objective was to quantify the change in productivity levels among telecommuters in the tech industry before and after implementing specific work-from-home policies. To align her methods with this objective, Emily chose a quantitative approach. She designed a survey that measured productivity metrics both before and after the policy changes. This method allowed her to collect numerical data that could be statistically analyzed, providing clear, objective results about the productivity changes. Emily's choice to go with a quantitative method was driven by her need for measurable, precise data that could be directly compared over time. This alignment ensured that her research was not only methodologically sound, but also highly effective in contributing valuable insights into the growing field of remote work. Aligning your research methods with your objectives is more than a procedural step. It's about ensuring that your approach can effectively answer your questions and meet your goals. Whether you choose qualitative, quantitative, or mixed methods, make sure they are the best fit for the tasks at hand. This strategic alignment is key to conducting robust research that stands up to scrutiny and adds real value to your field. Remember, a well-planned research strategy leads to meaningful findings, and meaningful findings can lead to significant changes in how we understand and interact with the world around us. As we wrap up today's episode on setting effective research objectives, let's quickly recap the critical aspects we covered. Remember, defining clear research objectives is like setting the GPS for your doctoral journey. It guides every step you take towards achieving meaningful outcomes. First, we discussed the importance of being specific with your objectives. Specificity helps focus your efforts and makes your goals manageable and clear. We also emphasized the need for your objectives to be measurable. Having criteria that you can measure will help you track your progress and evaluate your success. Finally, ensuring relevance in your objectives connects your research to broader discussions in your field, adding value and significance to your work. Now, I encourage you to take the time to clearly define your research objectives. Think about the impact you want your research to have. Identify the gaps in existing literature and formulate questions that will drive your research forward. To dive deeper into this topic, I invite you to join our upcoming webinar, where we'll explore practical strategies and engage in interactive sessions to help you refine your research objectives. It's a fantastic opportunity to get personalized advice and learn from the experiences of others in your field. Thank you so much for tuning in today. In our next episode, we'll explore effective data collection techniques, which will further assist you in your research process. Be sure to join us. And as we sign off, remember this: the clearer your vision, the easier the journey. Set your objectives with clarity and let them light your way to discovery and beyond. Here's to your success. See you next time.